This is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Welcome to Job Search Radio.
Are you looking for a new job or interested in leveling up? Job Search Radio is your go-to resource for insider tips on job hunting and growing your career. Here's your host, Jeff Altman.
This is Job Search Radio, episode 383. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to today's show on Labor Day. This is one that continues my theme for September about salary negotiation. And the bulk of the show comes from a video I did. It's one of the first videos I ever recorded for YouTube. It's called The Easiest Way to Negotiate a Higher Salary for Yourself. It has almost 50,000 views on the site. It's been very, very popular because it really is the easiest way to negotiate a higher salary for yourself. Hope you find this helpful. Hope you give it 5 stars, or hope you give the show 5 stars in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever else you listen to it, and that you'll reach out to me for coaching in one form or another. There's information about all my programs at the end of the show. Now, let's get going. Now, I want to talk with you today about negotiating a compensation, because it's probably one of the most under-talked about aspects that you're going to find as you're looking for information about job hunting. And the reason for that is pretty clear. The big boys, the big girls, when they're negotiating compensation, there are all sorts of ways that they can play the game. For the little guy, the small person who may be working a blue-collar job or working for a small business where the guy pays him out of his own pocket, there's no negotiating either. The basic negotiation when the offer comes down to is, we're making you an offer, you have 2 choices. Leave it and take it. And then there's average person, who I'm going to be really speaking about, a professional or white-collar office worker, small or big company, doesn't really matter. But, when an offer comes and someone is trying to improve upon it, again, there are kind of limited strategies for what you can do. Again, the big boys and big girls have it pretty easy because they're going to have big-time agents, and they're not really covered by some of the same rules as average person is. Average person's really stuck because if you're dealing with a public corporation, they can't really do side deals because they're subject to litigation. After all, they do a side deal with you, and I'm going to use myself as an example, and they do a side deal with me for some additional benefit, for example, and someone finds out about it, and they're sued because, after all, why did they give it to this white guy and they didn't give it to this individual who isn't a white guy, or this heterosexual guy versus the gay guy, and on and on and on. We live in a litigious society, and that's really changed how negotiation works. So I want to give you the simplest negotiating strategy that you can use. Doesn't always work, but often it does. It really requires very little strain or stress on your part. So, for average individual, here's the basic negotiating tactic. Now, if they hit your number, you can go, yippee, I'm going to take the offer, yay! I'm being goofy about it, but, when all's said and done, this strategy can work for you too. But if you told them that you're looking for this amount of money, and they give it to you, or more, it's not really right that you go back and ask for more, because, what does that really say about you? You told them one thing, and now you want even more? It kind of makes you into looking like a pig. But if an organization hasn't hit the number that you've been negotiating with them for, or that they know you've been looking for because your agent has told them about it, or you've told them about it during the interview, then here's the simplest strategy. Step number 1. Well, and you don't want to make that too, uncomfortable sounding when you hear the number, but you want to kind of pause a little bit, and you want to give them something. You want to start off with, I got to tell you, I really love this firm, but I think the offer's a touch low. So I need to think about this a little bit. Could I get back to you tomorrow? Now, what that does right off the bat is make them nervous. because you haven't said yes, you haven't said no. You've put them in limbo. And you've given them the carrot of basically saying, I like the job and I like the organization, but, they know it's the money. So you've hesitated, and the hesitation's real good. So when you get back to them the next day, I want you to be prepared with a couple of points. And, is there anything else other than the money that's in question for you? And then you ask them questions about those items first. And then we get to the real one, the money. And by the way, with the other stuff, you need to know in your own mind what you're prepared to walk away from and what you're prepared to accept, when you negotiate some of these other things. So when you get to the money part of the conversation, which is really what they're waiting for, and it's a job that you're interested in, it's a job that you like, and you want to say yes to joining the firm, and now it's just money standing in the way. You kind of pause, and either you look them square in the eye, or you get to the phone, and you get on the phone, and you have to sound a little introspective, and like you're thinking, and like this is uncomfortable for you a little bit, even though this is all planned and rehearsed. So you get to this point in the conversation, and you go, I'm a little disappointed in the money. I know we'd spoken earlier about it being such and such, that I was looking for such and such, and this obviously is less. So at that point, you pause and allow them to respond to it. Or you pause and they don't respond, and then you go ahead and then you say, could you do a touch better? And then you're silent for a little bit. You don't break the silence. You wait for them to respond first. They may go, how much more? I'd really like the money I was talking with you about. I like more, but I'd like the money I was talking with you about. We can't go that high. Could you do a touch better? Could you meet me in the middle between the two? Now, the first option, obviously, is to go for what you asked for. Option number 2 is to find the middle ground somewhere. Just get them to improve off of where they made the offer. And obviously, option number 3 is you can turn down the offer. And be prepared to do that. Because if you go into this negotiation with the premise of, I'm going to take whatever they give me, well, then we discuss it a little bit differently. We basically say, obviously the money's a little disappointing to me. Could you do a touch better? When they say no, you go, is there any sort of a review that you can do that might be within your cycle where there's the opportunity for me to get an increase? And then you're quiet again. I said, there's no guarantee that you'll get an increase, but we can do a salary review instead of in 1 year, we can do it in 6 months. Thank you. That I can say yes to. And they accept the offer. Or you say no based upon what you hear from them. If they're unwilling to be flexible, there could be business reasons for it. They may be paying one individual less than what they're offering you, and they're bringing in from the outside, and they're worried about whether or not they're going to lose the other person. In theory, you're not supposed to be concerned about that, but you should be because it can impact you as well. So, again, just to do a quick review, step number 1 is I'd like to think about it. Step number 2 is it's covering all the other things that you have questions about first, and then getting sincere with them and going, I really like the firm, and I like the job, and I really like the prospects of working for you, but the money's a little low. Could you do a touch better? They'll often raise it, but if they say, we really can't, this is really the max in our budget. Okay, could you do a different review policy for me? Could you, instead of a 6-month review, a 12-month review, could you do a 6? Instead of a 6, could you do a 3? Whatever it is, try and get it speeded up so you have a chance of getting an increase at that time. And whatever their answer is, you need to know going into the discussion what you're prepared to do, including walk away. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here's a few ways that I can be of help to you. First of all, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching from me, help with interview preparation, or with assistance on a salary negotiation, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. In the subject line, tell me what it's about: coaching, interview prep, salary negotiation, whatever it is. Just put it in the subject line, and in the body, just tell me what's going on, and we'll schedule a time to speak. Next, if you're interested in resume and LinkedIn profile reviews, critiques and such, or a job search makeover where I review every aspect of what you've been doing in your search and try and help you make corrective action one time, you can find out about it at my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. Look for the tab on top that indicates the kind of service that you want. Click through, place the order, and we'll get to work right away. And there's always JobSearchCoachingHQ.com, where I have curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read that's going to help you find work more quickly. Plus, through the site, for one price, you can also ask me questions as well. Again, that site is JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. I'll be back with more soon, and in the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
If you would like to have Jeff give you advice about your job search, you'll love JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. This site has all of Jeff's books and guides to job hunting available free. The ability to have Jeff answer your questions, plus podcasts and videos that'll help you with all the different parts of a job search, including writing a winning resume and cover letter, great answers to interview questions, how to negotiate effectively, whether you want an easy way or want to get tough, plus a community of people like you who you can get advice from. The site again is JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. That's JobSearchCoachingHQ.com.